in your statement. Like, what was that for? Oh. But when you actually go and you volunteer, it leaves a place in your heart that is filled up that can't be taken away. And you have instantly touched a life, physically, directly, rather than just sending something, giving it, they open an envelope, whatever. To me, yeah, those things are important. But once you build a connection, once you build a response and been able to hear how they feel, it changes your life. In my opinion, and some other people, I guess, they're the doctors and professionals, but from the work I've done, I realize we all are connected through our heart. Love is the biggest thing you can ever give, no matter whether it's walking down the hallway, you give your friend a high five, whether it's seeing a stranger who you know is having a bad day and asking them, are they okay? That's the biggest, the most contagious way to spread joy ever. How many people are in your classes, can you look at a person and see if they're having a bad day? I mean, you just know. They don't have to say anything, you just know. And a lot of times, the problems that we face are problems that we think we're the only ones dealing with. Whether it's abuse, whether it's missing a loved one, missing a family member, whether it's getting an F on your homework, or F on I used to get trouble for that. I had 2 teachers that were parents, and grades, not applying yourself and not studying was unacceptable. If I tried as hard as possible and I got a bad grade, that's different. But if I was purposely on, and I'm so thankful as a kid I didn't have Facebook in my life, because that was a problem. But you never know what another person is going through. You never have an idea unless you actually go and start the conversation with that person. So many times I felt that because I was a football player, that I was important. Do we have any athletes in the room? Raise your hand if you're an athlete. Do we have any non-athletes in the room? Raise your hand. Now, my question to the non-athletes, this is my question to the non-athletes. You all know who the jocks are. Yeah. And it's the way that you carry yourself. Trust me, I carry myself the same way. I took pride in being an athlete. I took pride in these things. But then again, all that was doing was taking pride in myself. How many people know who the volunteers around the school are? You say, what? Exactly. That, next time I come back, and I will be back, next time I come back, I want people to raise their hand and know who the volunteers in the school are. No matter who they are, because you're not affecting just your team, you're changing the life of the whole community and the world. That's far more important than being an athlete. That's far more important than being anything you think is important. Giving of yourself and boosting somebody next to you up to a higher level is far as the most important thing you could ever do. And these are things I never knew, I didn't realize. I mean, I was so caught up in myself that I completely didn't think about other people. But then when you go to an assisted living home, when you go to a home with runaway kids, when you go to Open Door Ministry, it's a homeless shelter that feeds people. When you go to these things and you realize how blessed you are, you realize how much you've been provided, and you realize that when you give of yourself, you always gain double. You guys know that? I learned that lesson too as well. You always gain more, whether it's friends or whether your heart just grows two more times. The more you help. I mean, my shirt went up about 3-4 sizes since I started helping. My heart is sticking out so much. Can you see it? Can you see it? You know, yesterday I taught at an alternative school in Lansing. It's amazing because it is the same type of faces but it is a completely different situation. You guys know what alternative school is? It's a completely different situation. And to have talked to those kids and to have had the conversation I had with those kids, now to be in front of you guys, I mean, to me, that is a far, far change in what can be done. And I pretty much talked a little bit about volunteering with them, but it was a different conversation. But now, in my opinion, I can envision you guys partnering up with some of them to help them get on the right track. And then once everyone's on the same page, you guys create your own book. And by putting that together, you have plenty of people who will read it. And it's hard to find someone who's, don't get offensive, teachers or administrators or anyone who's like 50 or 60. Hey, I'm sorry. But it's hard to find someone who's 50 or 60 and they've been living their 60 years one way, and then to say, you know, if I would have changed one thing, my whole life would have been different. To say that, it's kind of hard to soak in. It was hard for me at 30. I mean, you guys are still teens. Right now, you have the perfect opportunity to change and make that conscious decision now, rather than waiting years and years and seeing half your classmates or all your classmates go by the wayside. I have a favorite saying, which is, lives will be lost. I mean, it's the truth. A lot of the friends that I had to play football didn't make it out of high school football team. A lot of my guys in college didn't even finish their freshman year in college. And the majority of rookies that came in didn't even make it the first 6, 7 weeks. Yeah, they had an opportunity, but they didn't make it. And a lot of times, the younger generation feels like they're entitled to a lot of things. And you're not. The bottom line is hard work will provide opportunity. Entitlement, entitlement will do is get you let down. Because you think that you belong here, you think you belong there, and you realize that it is not where you belong because you didn't work for that. Nothing substitute hard work. Other thing is character. Do we all know what character is? Not like a movie character. You guys stop sitting back and see. Do we know what like character on the inside of the person is? Do we have an idea what that is? Somebody has to know. Anyone? No one? I was about to say teacher. Who knows? Someone tell me. Someone yell at me. Integrity. Great answer. Do we know what integrity means? I'm going to say a little more simple than that. Yeah. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. Character is who you are, and no one's watching. Give me an checkpoint. Exactly what it is. And character is completely, in one of my opinions, one of the biggest ingredients in volunteering. It's not always like, look at me pick up this trash. See, I pick this up. You see me? Then I think, look how many bags of trash I got. I'm so great. Or look how many people I help. I'm so great. It's not about that. It's about going and doing what no one sees you doing. It's about going and not trying to take credit for stuff that you're supposed to do. For going and helping someone who's in need. It's not saying, look what I did. It's just going and doing it. And maybe in the end, they may come out and say how great you are. Maybe they don't. But even if they don't, that doesn't mean you stop doing it. That means you do it more, you continue. And on the inside, you know you help change either a younger kid's life, or you help change and motivate an older man or woman. And to be able to go to sleep at night with those thoughts in my head has changed the way I sleep now. I mean, before I used to think about Brian Urlacher. Ray Lewis, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and Ray Lewis right there, and he knows he's getting the ball, you may stay up a little late thinking about that. But I will also say on that note, when you're prepared and when you're focused and when you're ready for a challenge, that challenge is going to be ready for you. Otherwise, then that nightmare was about you as well. I mean, he had to be up there, man. 4th and 1, I know he's getting the ball. And if I don't tackle him just right, y'all know what that means. Top 10 plays of the week. I got about 5 minutes left. I know I probably talked way longer than on one situation than I might have planned on. I didn't have a plan, so maybe I didn't. I will take any questions if anyone has any real quick. All right.